Hello, I'm Peter Wallman, and I've got a wonderful opportunity today to interview Benay Dyor. Benay is a wonderful coach and coach supporter, I guess, and I've had the honour of working with her on her passion map and various other things as well. So Benay is an expert in how to support coaches and how to get coaching practices working and happening well, and has been doing this, I understand, for about 13 years. 13 years ago she started her own practice, and then 10 years ago she started Universal Coaching Systems, which supports coaches all around the world to generate effective and profitable coaching businesses. So that's my honour, and I've found Benay to be extraordinarily professional, capable, creative, and just a beautiful woman to work with. I'd like to start by just asking you, Benay, I imagine that when people finish a coaching course, that they come out in different places in themselves. So how should they, how would you characterize those different people, and how do you think they should start to think about the first 12 months of their coaching practice?
Yeah, this is something I've been thinking about ever since we came up with this idea of doing, an interview on what's really important in those first 12 months. And what came to me really was like three really obvious types. And the first one is totally where I was, back in 2006 when I first did my coach certification. I came away from my first intake weekend. I think I was with 30 other coaches, and it was so exciting, and it just flipped my world upside down. And those are the people that I think that are just like introduced to personal development and completely awakened almost for the first time, or it had been hibernating. and in those situations, that person their reality has just really shifted a lot. So there's a lot of time that needs to happen for integration. So that's the first type of coach. And I see that a lot with the coaches that I work with. I'm starting to really think like, okay, you're still integrating. I'm getting better and better at identifying that when I interview new clients these days, which is awesome because they need different things. The other type, which is probably the most common that I come across, is coaches who are really good at their craft. They're natural healers, possibly empathic. They get coaching. They really want to make a difference. Their heart's in the right place, and they're just procrastinating. So because they think that they just they're not good enough yet. They don't have enough training. They need another certification, and they're stuck, even though they're quite gifted and just need to get out there. And my heart really goes out to that group of people, because man, they just need to get out there and start shifting their community and building some momentum. And then I think the third type, and I've had the privilege of working with a couple of these two, which is awesome, because they get your process, the stuff that I teach, and then just off, and they're just like filled with clients. And they're the people who are just confident and ready. They've had some life experiences and some stuff already. They do their coach training, and they're just like, yeah, it seals the deal, and off they go. So I don't know if you can relate to that in your experience too, Peter, but those are the three that really come up for me when I was thinking about the first 12 coaches that I know in their first 12 months.
Absolutely. And I'm curious about what is it the second group, those who doubt themselves or don't think they're good enough, need to be able to move into the third category, because they have the skills. Yeah, they do. That stops them.
Well, that's a great question. If that's you, if you're listening, and you're like the one that thinks, I'm just not good enough yet, I need this, I need that, then what you need is just to take steps forward. You need a process, a system that you're going to buy into, stick with it for 6 months to a year, and just make sure that you're moving forward every week, because what you need most is momentum. And when you and I were talking about this earlier, I know you were talking about was it qualities? And you need courage. You just be brave, take that first step, and then take the next one, and then the next one.
Yeah, I mean, it's, we're often dealing with and coaching people are in that place too. So people who, because everyone has enormous potential,
Yeah.
And a lot of people are stuck, and it's part of a coach's job to help people through that. So learning to do it yourself is a pretty important thing to do.
I would say it's essential. It's essential. If we can't do it, then we can't with integrity stand in and ask our clients to do it. So it starts here.
Yeah, and there is a certain amount of courage that you need to become a coach, isn't there?
And lots of other characteristics too, our qualities.
Yeah. So I'd like to ask you now, with these different types or positions that people find themselves in, or attitudes they find themselves in, what are the main steps that they need to take to actually start to establish a profitable coaching business?
Great question again. I've been working in this space for a long time, and there's lots of jargon and language around marketing and and systematizing and product development and market research. There's just so much you can do. And so what I've really tried to do with my work is to just really try to hone in on what are the basic chunks. And I've narrowed it down, especially in your first year, to three main chunks. And the first one is to get really clear on who your ideal client is and the problem you solve for them that they'll pay for and happily pay you for to help them fix. And then developing a signature program around that. What that does is it really solidifies your space. It's like, I stand for this. Like in my case, I stand for coaches, and I deal with these kind of things around coaches, so that when shiny objects or new things come out, like, I'm not distracted by them, because I'm really clear on who I'm meant to serve and who I stand for and what I am known for as a coach. And then that signature program just really helps you start to get a real handle on what are those main topics that I do need to talk about. I can talk about signature programs a lot. I have a whole process for how to co-create your signature program with your clients, which I may or may not go into in this interview. We'll see. But I do want to get to the next step. I think once you've got that kind of clarity, and some other language, in that first step is getting clear on your niche. I think that is important for people who are still in that first level coach that we were talking about, that they're just waking up, and they need time to let things sit and integrate. You don't want to rush into choosing a niche, because you probably just need a year just to find your feet, find your stability. So just getting coaching practice is probably just a really great thing for you, unless you're called to work on a specific niche straight away. Okay, anyway, I digress, Peter. So let's go to the second step. Once you've got that kind of nailed down and you've got this foundation of, okay, here's who I serve, and this is the problem and the topics that I specialize in, then you're really ready to create a sales funnel. So, and I love this because it creates an email list for you of people who, are interested in the kind of stuff that you offer. And if your sales funnel is good, they're actually a whole list of people who are your ideal clients. So you can continue to nurture and nurture them, and then let them know when you're developing things or when you have coaching spots available. And the funnel is a really simple thing. It's usually got a free thing at the top. They sign up for that. You get their email address, and then there's a series of emails that you send them to get them to know, like, and trust you, and to understand what your business is about and what you're here for. That's really great. And when I first started, I accidentally did that. I'm not sure why. And it's just been one of the most invaluable assets that I've had in my business, is my email list, because I can send out an email, and every time I mail my list, people buy some of my products, because they're like, oh yeah, that Benay chick, I've been following her for 3 years. I don't like her. So it's a really great thing that any coach can actually start doing now. And then once you've got that, then you're ready to start attracting eyeballs to it. So that's where your marketing comes in. And I like to simplify marketing into, okay, there's the sales funnel bit, and then there's the how am I getting leads? And that might be through Facebook ads. It might be through blogging. It might be through LinkedIn. And I recommend, especially coaches in their first year, no matter which category of coach you're in, the awakened, the procrastinating, or the ready and confident, that you choose 1 or 2 max of these lead generating streams, and just stick with that for a year, because there's so much mastery that needs to happen to be able to get the sales funnel and that lead generating stuff working in an automated way that actually does continually bring you leads. You need to give yourself time to master that and to perfect it, because actually most of the work is actually done in the optimization phase. Not necessarily, like it might take 2 weeks to create a sales funnel and a Facebook ad campaign, for example. But once you turn it on and you start watching the data, like you need to tweak things, and you need to keep doing that until you're getting the ROI on your investment that you're expecting. So those are the 3 steps: signature program, sales funnel, and then the lead generating streams.
Well, thank you, that Benay chick. Maybe I should call you that. Anyway, I was wanting to ask you about timing and rhythm and momentum. It's sometimes, hard to really get momentum when you're starting a business.
Yeah.
And to sort of be really tough on ourselves that's the case, if that's the case. I wonder if you can talk about the attitude to time that you have for coaches, the attitude to how long it takes to get going.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about that. And it's something that I've really observed in my own journey and all the coaches that I've been fortunate enough to work really closely with over the years, is that everybody has their own time. And you can't, I spent a lot of time, especially in my early days when I first came out of coaching school back in 2006, I was around all these motivated, talented people. And of course, none of us have disempowering beliefs, and we all believe we can be millionaires in our first year. And, all this rah-rah stuff that happens in coaching school, which is great. I mean, the energy and the vibe is fantastic, but it can be a little bit of peer pressure, and you start to have these expectations. In some cases, they're realistic. In some cases, they're not, for yourself. So as much as you can, I would try to separate, yourself from external influences like that, and really go within and follow the flow and the timing that works well for you. Like if you're one of those coaches that's in that early phase, where you've just been awakened and you're like, your whole world internally is upside down because you've just been exposed to all these new concepts and you need time to integrate, that might take a month, it might take 3 months, it might take a year, it might take 2 years, and that's okay. I would really encourage you to take that time and that space that you need, and think about little things you can do to start growing your business, but just get rid of all the pressure, because when you're building a coaching business by force, it just doesn't work in the same way if you're building it through attraction. So let's talk about the next people who are procrastinating. They actually should have probably started 2 years ago. Their business 2 years ago. Like, get out there. You need to start taking a step every week at least to move something that moves your coaching business forward. You're ready to start coaching. Get out there, start coaching, start making some money, start recuperating your investment. Don't let yourself buy another training program until you've made the money back from the first one you did. That's how I did it, and that was partly my scientific husband that helped me adopt that principle. But it worked really good. Yeah. Once you recoup the investment of that, Benay, then you can invest in your next level. It's a really nice, if you're that shiny object chaser or procrastinator, that's a really good rule that you can enforce on yourself to keep moving forward. And then of course the ready people, the people who are just ready, like they're ready to go. You just need a good mentor, a good system that'll help you get all the things that you want to have in place to have your business working like you want, and you're just off to the races. Just do the work, and you're ready to go.
So it's like, it sounds to me like we're on two journeys. One is our own inner journey to be in a place where we can actually be good coaches, and our other is our external journey, which is learning the skills and developing the business practices and whatever, so that we can have a profitable business. Do you have anything to say about balancing those two things?
Yeah, I do. Maybe when you were saying that, it made me think of my journey. And even though I was really unsettled within, hindsight, it's 2020, right? Looking back, I can see what was going on. Back then, I didn't think I had any problems. I was just going to become a life coach and help other people fix theirs, right? But my training like opened up the Pandora's box for me. But I didn't just rest on my laurels. Unfortunately, at the time, I did put way too many expectations and a lot of pressure on myself and expected myself to be an overnight success. And that really, I'd be really curious to know how different and more enjoyable my journey would have been if I would have known just to strip all that away and just enjoy the process. Like, it sounds cliche, but it's so true. But one thing that I did do, and I'd like to give myself credit for, is I always was looking at ways I could create things. So, you know, I tried lots of things. Like, I called everybody in the Chamber of Commerce book in my local town and just said, "Hi, I'm a coach. Do you need coaching?" You know, I learned so much from experiences like that. I went out and met with consulting companies. I got opportunities to, you know, join different companies, and that really helped me get a real clear understanding of what do I want and what don't I want. In my own personal job at the time, I was offered to do more training and coaching work, even though it was an IT thing. So that was really interesting. So I think momentum is key no matter what, but the expectation of how quickly you're going to have a thriving practice, you know, it will take longer, I guess, depending on where you are. Did that answer your question, Peter?
Oh, I think that's a great answer. Thank you. And I'd like to ask you, what specific things can you offer coaches or people who've just finished a coaching program recently? You know, what specifically can they expect if they want to work with you?
Oh, goodness. I have lots of things. I got my start doing just some basic templates. So people who wanted to start systemizing some of their coaching process with their own clients. I was a business analyst in the IT field. So of course I wanted to create templates out of everything straight away. So I noticed a lot of my coaching colleagues didn't have that skill, and I started sharing them, and that was really popular. So that's something, you know, if you want to start to systematize some of your path, you can use some templates. That eventually turned into a whole software package called Life Coach Office, where you can manage your clients all online. So you're not carrying around binders with coaching files and stuff. It's all online. It's all secure and backed up. And then that eventually evolved into, Benay, why don't you teach me, you know, how to create information products, how to create signature programs, and how to market those. So that eventually has evolved into the Coach Changemakers Academy. And that's been a really awesome journey. That's where I teach people how to develop their signature program. That's the module I teach. And then I bring in other experts to teach the sales funnel piece and the specific marketing pieces. Right now, we're just doing the Facebook ads. And over the next year, I do intend to add in other modules, because not every coach wants to do Facebook ads. Some want to do LinkedIn, some want to do Instagram, some want to do Twitter. So, and those are different experts that you have to work with to be able to do that. And then to phase it out so that you've got the support, the ongoing support that you need for that integration and optimization phase. So it's not like, here, learn all this stuff in 2 weeks and then we leave you. Like, we stay with you so that you have that time and that feedback to integrate and to optimize and to really get it and to get a return on your investment, and that repeated rinse and repeat automated client generation system that we all really want in our coaching businesses.
Well, thank you. It seems to me that we need to have systems in today's day and age. Things move so quickly, and we need to systematize it. Otherwise, we can't produce effectively for people.
Yeah.
So I'm really pleased to hear that you provide all those systems potentially for customers. I understand you run groups for coaches as well in a mastermind group format. Is that true?
Yeah, I have a group for my alumni. So those are people that all speak the same language. They've been through the signature program with me. They've done their sales funnel and they've done their lead generation system. So we're all on the same page. So that's a group that's solely for alumni. And I'm just about to start another group that's actually for new coaches in their first year, partly as a response to some conversations that we've been having and some conversations I've been having with my clients ever since we first came up with this idea. So that's on the cards, and I'm really looking forward to that. I'm feeling inspired.
That's wonderful. We're running out of time, but before we go, I just want to mention the passion word, which is close to my heart. What does passion have to do with all of this? Obviously,
it's so important.
Passionate woman, and you would bring that into all your work. But how would you suggest that your clients think about passion for their work?
Well, a coach, passion is the key to choosing your niche, choosing your ideal client, choosing that thing that you're going to get known for. Like, the more in tune you are with what you're passionate about, what you love, what you're gifted in, the better decision and the better choice you're going to make. Because having a coaching business is not always fun and games. It's not always easy. You're going to face challenges. You're going to have doubts, just like any business. And the more passionate you are about the change you're making in individuals' lives, the change you're making in the world, the more connected you are, at a deep and meaningful level, the more you're going to be able to sustain and love your business no matter what it throws at you.
Well, I think that's a beautiful, beautiful place to end this conversation.
It feels complete.
Very much, Benay. It's been a delight to interview you, and the best of luck with everything. If you're watching this, we'll be having all the contact details for Benay on a slide at the end of this video.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Peter. And if I can add in the 3 steps, the signature program, the sales funnel, and the lead generating components of what I've just been talking about, I've just published an article on my website that goes into each of those phases in a lot more detail. So if it's something that resonated with you and you'd like some more detail, we can if, with Peter's permission, we could put that link in the show notes too, so you can follow that to get some more information.
That's fine, and that's a free download that you provide.
Oh, it's just a blog post. I've got lots of stuff on my blog because I can inspire. I love writing, so and I love writing for coaches. I'm passionate about it, so there's lots of good stuff there.
So I just encourage anyone watching to follow this up and have a look at what's available on Benay's website, Universal Coaching Systems, and good luck with your coaching practice.
Thank you so much, Peter. Thanks for the opportunity.